Peace, 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 ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from around the world. All right, welcome back to I don't know if I would call this an episode more so than a live reaction, right? An instant fight reaction to the Vasiliy Lomachenko Devin Haney fight that just ended with Devin Haney winning the belts and retaining the belts and beating Lomachenko. You know, it's been a minute, man. It's been a minute since I did an instant fight reaction, man. You know, I miss them days, right? After the fights is over, hurry down into my studio and create content reacting, to the fight. And I used to love it because it was instant raw reactions, right? Immediately the juices is flowing. You know, you don't have to wait another day and then you lose the energy, have to get it back. Nah, it's right here. It just happened. The fight just happened. And I'm glad to be able to do something that I used to do more often. So if y'all like this and y'all want to see us continue doing this, well, won't you like and subscribe to the channel? Okay, make sure you interact with us. All right, let me know how you feel about this fight. Okay, because I got a lot to say about this fight. I'm not even gonna lie, but I'm gonna pass over the mic to my co-host immediately, who's on this show right now. Zay, what's going on?
Hey man, listen, good vibes by Zay. I'm always
We
in
got a lot of
paradise,
people in
usually
here right now. My
in
fault, Zay.
paradise.
They flooded in here, man. Let's go. Bring the people in here, bro. We got a lot to say. Come on, bring it in.
Oh no, yeah, absolutely. No, like listen, there's a lot to say, a lot to talk about, and I'm gonna say it clearly. Good vibes by Zay. Usually in paradise. Right now, I am not. I'm not happy. I thought it was a great fight, and the judges took all my happiness away. They literally took my happiness away from this fight. When I heard the first scorecard, 16-12, I already knew what was happening. I already knew the robbery was happening. I already knew Haney won. Once they said 16-12, there is no way in hell Haney had 4 rounds over Loma in any part of this fight. Not any part of this fight was over 4 rounds. Either fight. I don't think Loma had 4 rounds over Haney. I don't think Haney had 4 rounds over Loma. So how the hell are they gonna give Haney 4 rounds over Loma? Oh, that judge, when Haney won the last 3 rounds clear. Loma won the last 3 rounds clear. 10, 11, and 12.
So you thought he won the 12th round?
I think he won the 12. I think Loma won the 12th round. I think Haney didn't do enough to win the 12th, in my opinion.
I don't know about all that, Zay.
I don't think Haney
I was agreeing with you. I know about the 12th, man. I thought Haney won the 12th. I did.
I don't think it was a concise victory for they put him 4 rounds over Loma. It didn't make sense to me. No one got knocked down. Loma had a lot of clean hits and he threw for volume. Loma doesn't usually throw for volume, and he threw a lot of punches throughout this fight, and he was the aggressor throughout the entire fight. Devin Haney, despite him being a bigger fighter, did not push the fight. The most of the whole thing. He looked horrible tonight in Devin Haney standards. He didn't look like the Devin Haney, the champion, the calm, cool, collective cat. He looked nervous in that ring. He didn't look strong. He wasn't throwing the punches he usually throws. He wasn't deflecting punches he usually deflects. And that's what the Lomachenko effect does to boxers. It makes you change your game up completely. You look like a totally different fighter, from the better or worse. In Teofimo Lopez case, he looked better. In Devin Haney's case, he looked worse. It didn't look good. And the fact that he got the victory was disgusting. His post-conference speech after the fight made me sick. The post-fight speech in the ring, it made me sick to my stomach. I took over 135. We're going to see what's out there in the future. I've been fighting here for 30 fights since I was 16. We're going to see what the future holds. I'm not trying to hear that. You didn't win that fight clearly. And there's still 2 other demons you have to fight, Shakur and Gervonta Davis. And you talking about you want to leave the division once that comes around? It's disgusting. It reminds me of this cat Jared Hurd when he was winning those fights in the division, and he was doing everything he can to stay away from Charlo. Everything he could do in the book to stay away from Charlo, and he wound up losing his belts and getting hurt and all this other stuff. But it's ridiculous how the boxing community has been robbed of another great fight because the judges wanted to take it over. It's disgusting. I don't like it, and you could give your points on this fight.
Oh man, where do I start? First of all, before I even get into who I thought won the fight, this was a great fight, man. As a boxing fan, I kind of want to shed a tear. It was a great fight. It was a very methodical, pure boxing clinic type of fight. And I'm not trying to take away any credit with what I'm about to say. Salute to Devin Haney for winning the fight. Salute to Lomachenko, man, for going retro, okay, and showing why he's the Matrix, right? As we getting a lot of people in and out, man. Come on. Make yourself feel at home, man. We just getting started here. Like and subscribe to the channel. Get them notifications. As I was alluding to, man, I really felt it was a close fight. The rounds were tough to score, but I thought Lomachenko edged them out. And you hear a lot of terms lately, especially in the NBA, about poking the bear, right? We seen it with Dylan Brooks and LeBron James poking the bear, waking LeBron James, who's like 40 years old, 50 years old, right? Waking him up and him going vintage LeBron James. We see the poking of the bear, 2 nights ago with Jimmy Butler and Grant Williams, right? Jimmy Butler is looked upon as an old cat, even though he's still a star in this league, right? And he poking the bear, and guess what? Jimmy Butler was giving Grant Williams buckets. That weigh-in that I saw, what was it, 2 days ago, right? I'm losing track of time. It's 1:30 in the morning. 2 days ago, right, when Devin Haney uncharacteristically pushes Lomachenko, I thought he poked the bear. I literally said to myself, he poked the bear. And it was clear, like from round one, we saw a different Lomachenko. We didn't see the Lomachenko versus Teofimo Lopez that was taking rounds off. He literally gift wrapped Teofimo Lopez 6 rounds of the fight before he turned it on. And when he turned it on, Lopez didn't have no answer until that 12th round. Okay, this fight was a little different. He was aggressive out the gate. Haney was uncharacteristic. Everything about Haney was very uncharacteristic, very erratic. From the weigh-in, the push-in, you can hear the guy. He sounds nervous. He goes and he gets in this fight. The whole game plan is different. He's not even jabbing. I know this guy. Listen, man. Zay, I'm in the crossroads, right? I had to stop myself in my tracks because I feel like I'm going to be all over. I have a lot to say, right? I feel like me, a guy who criticized Devin Haney for the boring boxing in the past, right? I feel I'm at a crossroads because I thought he was more entertaining tonight. I said, Devin Haney's actually more entertaining tonight, but it's not winning him all the rounds. Like, what happened to the jab put me to bed Haney? Like, I want that Haney, right? Because that Haney probably would have won this fight decisively. Okay, he was uncharacteristically going to the body with the body shots, and it was like, very uncharacteristic. Everything about him was uncharacteristic in this big fight. I get it, pay-per-view, your first time on the stage, but I didn't really feel like he won the fight. I thought it was close, but Loma, that 11th round, bro, he got to have that killer instinct, man. I think Loma, in a way, yes, it's a robbery. If you really want to, it's a robbery. And I understand what people are going to say. Because, I'm debating my guy, Kenny. Salute to my guy, Kenny, man. That's my boy. Right? Boy for life. But he thinks, it wasn't a robbery. And I understand the narrative could be, it was a close fight. Can you consider a close fight a robbery? Right? If all these rounds is close and hard to score, how can it be a robbery if it's that close? But I would tell everybody that's listening to the show right now who watched the fight, okay, I would tell everybody who watch boxing in general, this is going to happen. When you have a young, star in the making in Devin Haney, who's in his 20s, with 3 of the belts, with a big fight against Tank looming, with a big fight against Shakur Stevenson looming, and you have Lomachenko, who's about to be 40 and out the door. Who the hell y'all think these judges is going to give the fight to in a close fight? Come on, do I need to say more? For those of y'all boxing fans, I'm not talking about the casuals right now. I'm not talking about Pop who watched the fight when it's Tank and Ryan Garcia, the casual. I'm talking about the loyal boxing fans that been watching the corruption in this sport since the daggone 60s with Frankie Carbo and Blinky Polimo. You saw what I saw last week with Teofimo, excuse me. I'm all over the place. But was the fight last week, Zay? Help me out, man. Rolly Romero. That was robbery. I never saw robbery in person in my life. I never did. Right? And I really hope I don't never have to deal with that. But I saw a robbery last week in person. That was robbery. And now we get to a close fight. And it's like, I don't even know if I really want to watch boxing anymore. And it's not to take anything away from Haney. Like he's like I said, he looked more entertaining in this fight. And it was close. I thought it could have been a draw. I want to know that these judges is going to give it to who really won the fight. And I really think that it was evident that they was going to give Haney the fight regardless because he's a young star with 3 of the belts. And Lomachenko is an old guy who really didn't fight like an old guy tonight. But Zay, I'll pass the mic back to you.
No, literally. He didn't fight like the old guy. He fought like the guy that was hungry for the championship, the one who wanted to win the championship rounds, as Tim Bradley was talking about. The championship rounds, who Tim Bradley was on Devin Haney's side the entire fight. He was talking about Haney as if the guy was winning the entire fight. He was outclassing Lomachenko. And the fact that he was talking about Loma as if he won the fight, talking about the championship rounds, who wants him more, who looks hungrier, who's making the adjustments during the fight, late in the fight. Then from 9 to 12, Loma had made incredible adjustments. swinging more with the Devin Haney's left hand, trying to jabbing more, getting close to the fight, to the body, closing off a lot of the ring, not allowing Devin Haney to get comfortable. In that from 9 to 12, Loma was making all the key adjustments, and the fact that he wasn't awarded that, let alone forget the loss, a draw, a split decision at least. You're saying a unanimous, that he unanimously lost the fight, is disgusting. That is the stench of boxing in these judges. It does not make any sense how the hell they can look at this fight and look as you're watching the fight and say, yeah, Haney won unanimously. That didn't look like a unanimous fight to me.
That's the point, bro. That's exactly the point that I'm saying, and I'm debating with my guys, right? Because, in boxing, after a big fight, I get about 5 calls, okay? I had to get about 5 calls out the way before I got on this show to set up, bro. Okay, and I'm telling these people, I'm like, it's not the fact that, okay, it was a split decision that went Haney's way. I can live with that. I damn sure could live with a draw, because I thought potentially it could have been a draw. If it wasn't a draw, I would have went Lomachenko by a round. It was that close. So I'm not trying to diminish Haney here. And that's what these robberies do. It diminishes not only the loser of the fight, but the winner of the fight. Because now we are talking about a robbery instead of a guy who won the 12-round classic or, participated in a 12-round classic. We are like, yo, it's a robbery. Now it diminishes Haney. And it's not his fault. It's the judge's fault. But it goes back to my point. Unanimous? Did that look like a unanimous decision? Right? Or do I need to stop watching boxing? Because I stopped. I will never watch another boxing fight if I don't know how to judge boxing. Okay, I would literally sit my ass at the sidelines, okay, and watch golf. Okay, a sport that I absolutely despise. I hate golf, but I watch that instead of boxing. If you mean to tell me I'm seeing things, maybe I need to go to the eye doctor tomorrow. Okay, get my eyes checked. Okay, maybe I need to do so, right? I saw a raccoon in the street the other day, and it wasn't there. Maybe I need to go to the eye doctor tomorrow. But Zay, I'll leave this with you, right? Because I got another point that I want to throw your way. When you talk about Loma, and this is where I would get on Loma, because I feel like I'm diminishing Haney here, right? I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to the young kid, the young star in the maker. I don't, but I'm an honest guy. But as far as Loma and what he could have done better to get this decision in his way or going his way, it came down to that 12th round to me. And I think we kind of differ on the 12th round. I thought Loma lost the 12th round. And I thought he lost it decisively, right? But it was the same thing with the Lopez fight, right? Remember, the second half of the fight, Lomachenko was turning it up. He was answering all the questions that Lopez threw his way. And he figured out Lopez. But that 12th round, Lopez went and got it. That's why when a lot of people said that was a draw or, Loma may have won that, edged that out. Now I was like, nah. Lopez won that because he took it from Loma in that 12th round. With this fight, I can say Haney, he took that round from, Loma. But I thought Loma in the 11th round could have got Haney out of there. At one point, I was saying to myself, maybe we might see a stoppage. Do you think Loma's at fault? Right? And I know maybe a conflict of interest because you thought he won the round. What do you think about that 12th round of Lomachenko? And do you think he could have been more aggressive even though you thought he won that round? And I
mean, from an unbiased standpoint, when you're looking at that perspective, Haney had the 3 clean body shots in that 12th round. 3 clean hits. And I think that was, for me, that was it from Haney, though. It wasn't a total of a good round from either fighter, but I thought Loma edged it because he was the aggressor. He was leaning forward, trying to push the tempo, trying to attack him more and close the gap. But I thought Haney had 3 clean body shots that definitely could have taken Loma out potentially if he would have continued the onslaught of body shots. He was hitting him a body throughout the entire fight. And maybe that's what the refs are looking at primarily and saying, yeah, that's why Haney won the fight because he was devastating from the body most of the fight. But I just feel like from the momentum going from the 9-10-11, it was all Loma, and I felt like the momentum was still on Loma's side even after the 12th round ended because it didn't seem like Haney was trying to win the fight. Even in that 12th round, Haney just looked like he was trying to survive. And that's why, for me, I said that Loma won that 12th round because of the urgency. It seemed like it was more from Loma than Haney. But Haney had the cleaner shots of that 12th round. And like I said, from the eye test, when you're just watching the fight itself, you could see who was fighting for urgency. and who was fighting to survive. And I don't think Loma was fighting to survive at any point of this fight. I feel like he knew what he was doing. He kept pushing the pace. He was uncharacteristic in a point where he was throwing a lot of
He
punches
was the
early on.
aggressor. Yeah, he was the aggressor.
125 punches thrown within 3 rounds. And that's not who Loma is. Loma is normally the person that lays back. But he fought into what Haney likes to do. He likes to be the counter puncher. He likes to be the defensive guy. So Loma threw so much volume at him. Haney wasn't able to even really calculate what the heck to do with Loma, because he doesn't know, oh, he's a favorite of jab, he's a favorite of hook. He would Loma was so shifty around Haney. It didn't seem like Haney knew exactly what to do at all throughout this entire fight. And that's why you saw him just trying different things, getting hit with a bunch of punches he usually doesn't get hit with. And I feel like for me, if I'm a judge and I watch Devin Haney fights, I know Devin Haney doesn't fight like this. And I know it seemed like this guy was searching for something. So how the hell you give this man 4 rounds? How you watch this fight and say Haney won 4 rounds? I'm not saying Haney lost the fight clear. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is you robbed Loma of a couple rounds that could have made this fight a lot closer and potentially a rematch, because people will want to see this fight again to see who could really be the decisive winner, because you just gave the fight to Haney as if he cleared this guy. And that was not the case whatsoever. I don't even think Loma had a tune-up fight leading up to this moment. So it was ridiculous how they just gave him the fight, let him just run away thinking he's the champion of the world, champion of the division, when the fight was too close. It was way too close to call. And even Loma said it after the fight. You know, Loma's a very respectable dude. He said it after the fight. You know, before the fight, I gave him a lot of respect. I thought he was one of the pound for pound fighters. And then after the fight, I don't really see him as up there for pound. I don't see him like that.
Yeah, because he probably thought he won the fight. But look, I got a question, but I'm going to give a little take here before I follow up, with the question. Lomachenko, I'm really impressed from him. Like, I'm really impressed, like, what I saw. Like, I'm not going to lie, prior to the weigh-in, I thought he was cooked goods. I'm just saying, like, what I feel. Like, I really thought he was cooked goods. But then when I saw the push at the weigh-in, I'm like, he poked the bear. He going to bring the best Loma out. And clearly I was right. From the point of attack, round 1, we saw an aggressive Lomachenko. And you could tell throughout the fight that Lomachenko did not respect Haney's power at all. Because when he fought Lopez, he respected that power. He did not want to engage in that power, and he took rounds off because he wanted to find ways to create angles, beside the power, to try to avoid the power of Lopez. And once he found that answer, he turned it on, lost the 12th round. But here, from the opening gate, and even when he was getting hit to the body, he was still coming forward. You never felt like he was harmed or he felt like Haney packed a punch. And that's always a knock on Haney. Has no power. Clearly, he doesn't. But I think my question I'm going to throw back to you in your way, I'm going to play devil's advocate, right? Because, I am a boxing fan, so I know boxing terminology, right? Because I'm really entrenched in the sport. So somebody will probably say, if Haney has the belts, which he does and retained, right? And he has 3 of them, most of the time, the challenger has to win decisively sometimes to get the decision. So I guess to play devil's advocate to my own take, to you as a question, do you think Lomachenko won the fight decisively enough to get the belts and get the nod from the judges?
Probably not. Probably not decisively. And I think, looking back at it now, when I'm listening and like thinking back of the fight, I said it throughout the entire fight. It was close. I said it in the chat, the fight's close. The rounds were tied. Haney up 1, Loma up 1. I just felt like I felt like the divider was the 9, 10, 11 rounds. That's when you saw the divide happening between Loma and Haney. You saw Loma taking away. So I don't know how important that 12th round was, to the point where you just, like, Haney just came right back into that lead to take the fight. It was a very close fight till the very end. But I thought, like I said, the end of the fight was Loma's. Like, it was the Loma show. And the fact that we didn't see a great ending to Haney, like his performance defensively, his hooks, his punches, he looked dazed at points in this, and then in that 9, 10, 11 rounds, we even saw him hurt. The fact that he decisively got that troubles me. Now, you could say he won if you want to. You could say he did enough early in the fight from rounds 1 through 8 to win the fight. If that's what you want to say, fine, right? Whatever. But the ending of that fight put Loma in that conversation that it could have been a split decision or a draw. And I think for me, that's why I have a little upset about it. And I understand he's the champion. So even if it is a close call, it's going towards the champion just because of how close it can be. But I did say it was a close fight towards the very end. And I know it's tough, as Kenny said, or even other people said, that you can't call a close fight a robbery because it's close. It go either way. It's just unfortunate that like I said, the scorecard made it way further than what we thought it was going to be. 116 to 112 is extremely disrespectful. I don't care how close I saw the fight. 116 to 112. That man should not be judging boxing ever again in his life. I don't care how many years he's
I
been in
wonder who it was. Like, it's instant fight reactions. Normally, I watch the fight again. Normally, before the actual radio show that we do, the podcast we do. And normally, I look at the scorecards and I look at the names. I wonder if it was that dude Cheatham, right? No pun intended. I wonder if it was Cheatham, right? Because he got a name, Cheatham. I wonder if he cheat him, Lomachenko, right? But I think going back to my question about a challenger winning a title fight decisively in order to get the decision, right? Because that's what a lot of boxing fans think that's supposed to happen. And Haney did win the 12th round. And the championship rounds were, I'm going to say were close because I thought 10 and 11 went to Loma. I thought Haney won 12. So people may say that Loma probably should have won 10, 11, and 12 to get the decision. And ultimately, that's what it came down to. That 12th round probably was the difference based on the two other judges. It could have been a draw. But I guess for me, I just hate that narrative. Like, I never thought that narrative ever made sense. So just because, like it's out there and boxing fans, it's not a set rule. Like, you don't look in the rule book and it says you have to win decisively if you're a challenger in order to get it. It's just like a perception amongst boxing fans that that's what you're supposed to do. But I hate that perception. If you won the damn fight, my God, you won the damn fight. I don't care if you won by a round. I don't care if you was down and came. I don't care. If you won the fight, you won the fight. And I thought, to me, Lomachenko won the fight by a round. I don't care if he's a challenger. I don't care if he's, because technically speaking here, Haney only got the belts because Loma went to fight in Ukraine. That was Loma's opportunity. To be fair and clear, okay? Kambosos chose Loma as his dance partner, but circumstances got in the way. Life happened, okay? And he went to fight in Ukraine. Haney pounced on the opportunity that he probably was not going to get anytime soon. And he seized the opportunity. He won both times, clearly, definitively, and he got the belt. So technically, he was holding the belts for Loma. This was literally, even though Haney walked into this fight with the belts, I looked at it as the belts is on the line, and I don't really see a belt holder. So I went that route of the challenger needs to look, decisive in order to get the nod. Like, nah, Lomachenko won the fight to me. And if anything, I'm not mad at anybody who says it's a draw. Fine. It was that close. Rounds were really close. Call it a Jordan. Let everybody go home and let's see a part two. Damn well we not seeing a part two. Lopez, he won that fight against Lomachenko. Adios, amigos. I am not seeing you no more. Okay, you think Haney gonna see Lomachenko again? You think this gonna be a part two? Come on now. So if anything, make it a draw. Let's see this fight again. Who wouldn't want to see this fight again? I'm not gonna lie, this fight over exceeded my expectations. I didn't have a lot of expectations for it. We didn't even cover it on the show leading into the fight. I'm like, Haney's a born fighter to me. Loma, is he old? I don't know. Yeah, but I saw it because I'm a boxing fan, and it over exceeded my expectations. This was a great ass fight. But what ruined my night is these daggone cheaters. These judges that's getting paid off, man. Come on, bro. Don't get me started here. We all know they're getting a check cut to them, man. They they think they're looking at the sport's best interest at heart, the future. Oh, we need Devin Haney. He's younger. Loma's out. Go ahead, Zay.
I just want to say, I want to give Haney his credit, his praise, because he did fight a good fight against Lomachenko, which I thought was going to be a wash. I thought Loma was going to wash him out later in the fight. I thought he was going to put him in the deep end. But Haney held tough. He was able to fight differently, try to get different ways, creative ways to get a punch off on Lomachenko, attack the body, try to make Loma play more defense than throw volume. He tried something differently, and you commend fighters like that, because sometimes guys just stick to their ways, which some perceive as boring, but others perceive as winning boxing. And it was difficult to watch because Haney was getting hit with a lot of punches, and a lot of punches, and now you're starting to see the talent difference between Haney and the upper echelon of the pound for pound fighters. He faced Loma. It only gets tougher from here when he has to fight a guy with power and tank, or fight a guy with power and tactical moves in Shakur Stevenson. So these are the next two guys that Haney may have to face. He's talking about moving up in weight after the fight. He didn't even call out Shakur Davis. He didn't say, "Yeah, you guys are next. This is my division. You got to run through me." He said, "We're gonna look at the tape. We're gonna go back and talk about it. We're gonna see what the next step is moving forward." I'm not calling him a coward. I'm not saying he's scared of Davis or Shakur Stevenson, but it was a very calculated answer to say after just beating one of the best pound for pound fighters in boxing. Not only the division and boxing itself. Lomachenko was a feared name for years. Many people did not want to see him. And I think the fact that Haney had to face him, he's able to endure and say what we want. We all got our opinions. He won that fight, and the judges think decisively. And now, that's a good look on a resume for him. Now, like I said, moving forward, he has to find a way to fight his fight, winning boxing against the better punchers in the division, against the Shakur Stevenson and Gervonta Davis. Those are the only two names left on that list in the division. So if he wants to move up, now is his chance to do it, because right now it's not looking like right now after this performance, I personally don't believe that this is the best version of Devin Haney. I think this is probably one of the worst Devin Haney performances I've seen in quite some time. In terms of how he fights, and in terms of how dominant he looks and defensively, and keeping at a distance, the jab, it did not look good against Lomachenko. And no matter if you're a fan, you're not a fan, everyone can agree that Devin Haney did not look like himself in this fight, and that's something that everyone universally can agree upon.
Yeah, and I would say this, right? As we still got people coming in here. Make sure y'all like and subscribe, y'all. Listen, we be getting at it with the boxing, with the NBA, with the NFL, man. This is not really a regular show. We kick off a regular show on Monday around noon, and another weekly show in the midweek. So make sure you tune in. We be getting at it, right? But Zay, I'm gonna pass it back to you for one more closing remark, and then I'll bring us home.
An amazing fight, to say the least. A great fight. I thought the prelims was great. I thought the undercard was good. And the final fight, it gave people his money's worth. I know there's a lot of technical difficulties that were happening, but it was a good fight, to say the least. And it was just unfortunate that the judges ruined what could have been a great one. But Haney has a bright future. He has options. He can stay in that division, defend his belt 2 more times, 3 more times, or he can move up and possibly chase after that Garcia fight that people been wanting to see for a while now. I don't know if they want to see it anymore because of the belt situation. But if Garcia is moving up to 140, Haney has been discussing moving up to 140 as well. So I guess him and Garcia could have that clash at the weight that they want. That still be a great fight. These guys are young. I think Devin Haney's like 23, 24, I think, something like that. He's a young dude. And I think he has his future only starts here. He's not a perfected fighter yet. Even at this age, he still has more growing to do. And it was a great fight for him. Shout out to him. He won the belts, and hopefully we could see that him and Shakur Davis fight happen before he leaves the division. Now going to his Lomachenko, man, it's a tough loss. It sucks, to say the least, but you've shown another element of your game as a boxer that we haven't seen as an early striker, a guy who's just throwing combinations for 12 rounds. That's something we haven't seen. The Lomachenko we haven't seen yet. We're usually waiting for the guy who's like more defensive, more methodical, and then he explodes in that 6 to 12 rounds. But you showed us 12 rounds of combinations, 12 rounds of volume, throwing punches, not being afraid of being swung on, being hit, being connected. And that was something we love to see. And I still personally, I want to see Gervonta Davis versus Lomachenko. I personally still want to see that fight. That's something I would hope comes to fruition. Or Shakur Stevenson versus Lomachenko. I want to see. I think those are the fights I still would like to see if Haney decides another venture. If he decides to move somewhere else in terms of the belts, in terms of an opponent. But in my opinion, I think both fighters still have a lot of great fights coming soon, like within the next 2-3 years. I just gotta see what the hell they're gonna do, because I know the commissioners look at this fight. Like, I know Loma, like, we wanted you out of here, but you kind of got packed up in the wrong way. Like, this wasn't, you wasn't supposed to get robbed like this. Like, that's not
It's
what's supposed
basically
to happen.
like, get out of here, Lomachenko. Go. Like, yes,
Like,
thank
he
you for
looked
what you
great.
did.
He looked great in this. There's no
That's
way
what
you
I'm
just
saying.
kick him after this.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, how could you rob him if he looked that great? Because it's like, it's not like that type of Loma that I saw a few hours ago, an hour ago, is on his way out. That looked like a Loma that could be in the sport for another 5 years, at least. But it was like, yo, here's your bags at the door. Bye. Haney's the guy we putting money into now. Get your old ass out of here, Loma. Bye. You know what I'm saying? That's what it felt like. Go back to Ukraine. Thank you for what you did, right? For, bringing eyes to boxing and you being that dude at one point. Thank you for your contribution, but it's time to get the hell out. That's what it felt like. And like I said before, I really do feel bad in a way. I might not even be able to sleep tonight with my conscience, because I feel like I'm shorting Haney here. And I don't want to do it. It's not meant to shorten Haney here. He fought a good fight. Like, he looked really good, right? So I really do feel like I'm not going to be able to sleep, because I feel like people are going to take this and be like, oh, he's hating on Haney.
Yeah, no,
I'm not hating on the guy. Like, I'm glad to see him at the top of the sport. He fought a good fight against, Loma, who still got a lot left in the tank, clearly.
Yeah.
But boxing, we all know when it gets close like this, for anybody who's questioning a robbery here, I just will ask y'all, for those of y'all who know boxing, as I reiterated before, when you have a guy who's on his way out and a fighter who's in and is about to be in the prime of his career in a close fight, who the hell you think the judges is going to give that fight to? 9 times out of 10. We've seen it with Manny Pacquiao. It's funny because Manny Pacquiao and Loma have a lot in common. The way how they fight, the speed, right? The way how they throw at different angles, like, it's very common. But we saw Manny Pacquiao get robbed of a lot of fights against Timothy Bradley. Jeff Horn, the Hornet, right? That was a robbery, clear as day. We saw it last week. All the money is in Rolly Romero. He's a very interesting cat. He's box office from his personality. But my guy don't got a chin to save Mr. Chin, okay? And they gave him that victory, the referee, Tony Weeks, with a weak move, right? Clearly, robbery. Like, I'm literally witnessing a robbery. You see the promoter, I don't know if anybody realized that, but there was a promoter in the audience before the referee stopped the fight and was like, did a hand signal. Go watch the tape. I saw it. Nobody talked about it. I watched about 100 podcasts after that Rolly fight, and nobody mentioned the dude in the black suit that made a hand gesture, and that's when Tony Weeks stopped the fight. Nobody brought it up. What are y'all, blind? You know what I'm saying? The blind-demic? That's what it is right now. Nobody can see. Come on, man. This is 151. Nostradamus is on the mic. These are my hours. Let me talk my stuff. When everybody's asleep, I'm up. Okay, 2 hours. I know what I saw, and I know what I've been seeing in boxing lately. And I don't even know if I even want to rep the sport anymore, man. I feel like if I go out on the street and I tell people I'm a boxing fan, I'm going to feel like a bastard. Why are you watching that robbery? Okay, why are you watching that sport, that corrupted sport? You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm going to leave us with, man. Because, I do want to get some sleep. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, Eastern time, right? I don't think I'll be able to sleep because I really shortened Haney here tonight. And Haney, unbelievable job. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to seeing you fight Shakur and Gervonta Davis. Listen, I got to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? But my last point, for real. And once again, like and subscribe. Listen, to all them youngins, them young athletes, whether you're in the NFL, NBA, boxing, don't go poking bears, okay? Please don't. Don't go poking bears, because technically, Haney poked the bear. He woke up Loma. He made Loma go vintage. Now, Leel, really? You really think a push, made the difference in the fight? Nah, but listen, Loma probably was like, listen, yeah, he just woke me up. He felt this power. He said it in the interview. I felt the power. Right? I'm trying to pronounce, I don't know how to do voice impersonation. I felt the power. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm probably doing it way off. I felt the power, right? He felt the power. Okay, he said it in the interview. I felt the power. So, round one, he already felt the power. He came forward, never back down. Had Haney in the frenzy in the 11th round. Haney bounced back in the 12th round and took that round and made a, even championship round there, right? But don't go poking bears, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I'm going to leave you with. I'm about to get me some sleep. Okay, it's been a long day, all right? And it's been a long fight. And listen, man, Zay, I'm looking forward to coming back here. I don't think we're done on this topic at all. Monday, I'll be down to dive into this further, maybe with some future outlooks, let everything play out. But yeah, Zay, I'm glad you came on. I'm glad you was still awake, and I'm glad we was able to give our take.
And absolutely, man. We're gonna touch more on this topic on Monday, 12 o'clock on our live show on 99 Pod. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe to the channel. It was one of those fights after we, close our eyes, wake up, and then hopefully we get a better, concise, decision on what the hell just happened tonight. But, I know everyone who's tuned in today definitely saw a great fight. We all have the same opinion on what the hell are these judges doing and how do we fix this moving forward. There is no answer. The judges are going to keep being horrible, and that's why you never leave the fight to the judges. But, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoyed the reaction, and have a good night.
Listen, Zay, it's going to be an interesting sleep for me, man. These next couple hours, man. I might as well go to church tomorrow because I'm going to be up. Okay, praise the Lord. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see y'all on Monday. We out of here. Peace out. Peace.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.